I'll continue the second chapter. This is one of the topic from your second chapter. So we already finished preliminaries, that is mathematical functions. So after this we'll be discussing what is asymptotic notations. In asymptotic notations, we are going to study something like how to analyze an algorithm. I have already explained what is an like say analysis of algorithm. Analysis of algorithm can be done in using two methods. One is based on time and one is based on space, how much memory it is going to occupy. Now, while coming for this, we'll have something called as asymptotic notations, which are used to measure the efficiency of an algorithm. So to do that, we will be using three notations, which is called as big O notation, omega notation, and theta notation. Okay, so these are the three type of notations that we have for analyzing the efficiency of an algorithm. Now, in this concept, we will also understand what is order of growth. Okay, so what is order of growth is, by using this concept, we are going to identify the efficiency of an algorithm by using these three notations. Okay, what is order of growth is? Order of growth is based on the number of inputs. Okay, based on the n number of inputs, how much time or how the time is going to change. That measure will consider as order of growth. Order of growth is a measure where based on the number of inputs, what is the execution time it will take. That type of measure will consider as order of growth. You can consider a simple example of, if you have 5 elements and I am trying to search some element, so it will take less time. If I have 500 elements, the same amount of time the amount of time it consumes to execute will be more. So that is how the concept of order of growth is. So by using it, we will be representing or we will be identifying these three notations. One is big O notation, omega notation, as well as theta notation. First, coming for big O notation. Big O notation is a notation which is used to represent the upper bound. Okay, so upper bound or the largest amount of time possible for any given algorithm for its execution. Okay, in the sense, if I take a simple example, I'll consider I have 3 elements. I have 4, 6 and 20. If these are the elements I have, suppose I am searching for an element called as 20. So this is the maximum amount of time it may take. Say in the sense, I have 3 elements. First we are going to compare with 4, 6 and then I am going to compare with 3. So that is 20. So when I compare with 20, element is found, and I'll say element is found at the location 20. So the maximum number of comparisons took is 3 comparisons. So it may be less also. If I take 4, then the number of comparisons we are doing is only 1. So that is, the algorithm is executed efficiently when, or the maximum amount of comparisons that we are doing is 3. Within that comparison, we'll get to know whether the element is present or not. Okay, so that is, upper bound will represent what is the amount or what is the order of growth according to the maximum number of possible input. Okay, so what is the amount of time it is going to take. So this will be represented in a graph by using two things. One is number of elements and other one is time. Okay, so we'll be taking two things. One is time and the other one is number of elements, and n value will be always greater than 0. Okay, so it cannot be less than 0, it will be always greater than 0. And one more thing is, say for example, here we are going to represent two graphs or two functions. One is called as f of n and the other one is called as g of n. Okay, what does f of n will represent as? F of n will represent, say for example, I have 3 elements. If the number of elements is 3, if the number of elements is 3, maximum number of comparisons I can do is 3. And it may be executing below 3 also. It may be found at 1 or it may be found at 2 also. So what these two functions will represent is, one function will represent the maximum or upper limit of time taken for execution, and g of n will represent actual amount of time, how much it is taking. So we'll be using two functions, one is f of n and the other one is g of n. So in upper bound or in big O notation, we will be representing upper bound or the largest amount of time the algorithms takes for execution. Here we will be using f of n as well as g of n. Now here you need to remember one thing is, f of n is always say for example greater than or equal to c into g of n. So where c will be standing as constant. Okay, so that is f of n will be always greater than g of n in the case of big O notation. Okay, next coming for the next thing, which is omega notation. Omega notation is just opposite to that. So opposite that in the sense the least possible time. So it will be representing lower bound, or we'll also consider it as least possible time. Okay, in the sense if I have three elements, the least possible comparisons is what? 1. So when I say 4, if the element is found at the first position itself, the number of comparisons we are doing is only 1 comparison. In that case, the least number of possible comparisons is only 1. So that will be represented by omega. So omega is going to represent what is the least or lower bound of the efficiency. So which will be again represented by using the same algorithm or the same graph, where n will be representing the number of elements and will be representing time. So through the x-axis I will be using number of elements, to the y-axis we will be using time. Here again we are going to have two graphs, one is f of n and another one is g of n. Okay, where f of n will be representing the least possible time and g of n will be representing, it may increase also, or maximum amount of time it may consider, that will be represented by g of n. So you can represent here f of n is always less than or equal to c of g of n. Okay, so this will be representing omega notation. So which will be representing the lower bound or the least time possible time for completion of an execution. Okay, next theta notation. Theta notation will be representing both, right? It will be representing both upper bound as well as lower bound. In the sense, we will be using three functions here. One will be representing upper bound, other one will be representing lower bound. I can write f1 of n, f2 of n, and one function will be representing actual execution time, which is g of n. Okay, now here f of n, f1 of n is always greater than or equal to, or it is always greater than g of n, and which is always greater than or equal to f2 of n. So like this we are going to represent. So we are going to represent, that is these functions, which is theta. Okay. So this is about your second chapter, where we have only two topics. One is regarding mathematical functions, and we have discussed what is asymptotic notations. These are two important topics from the second chapter, and we have there are few definitions which are like what is worst case scenario, what is best case scenario, what is average case scenario. Those definitions, just go through those and with these examples. Okay, so I'll continue with the next session in the next topic. Okay, thank you.